to ICO Review, and today we'll be having a look at Agent Not Needed. I wanted to give these guys a little bit of coverage, a little bit of attention. There's only 2 days and a couple of hours left in the ICO, but I'm into the idea. I've been kind of chasing this idea for a little while now, and this is the first one that really gets my attention in the property space. But before we do, today's video is brought to you by ICOexplainervideos.com. If you're looking for a premium quality animated explainer video for your ICO or blockchain related product, then these guys are bloody awesome. Check them out, pay for 80% of their services with your token. So you're printing your own money, guys. Agent Not Needed, peer-to-peer property platform where individuals can buy, sell, and rent a property directly online without the need of a real estate agent. And here is really why I'm into real estate on the blockchain in general. We're reducing costs, and it's all laid out here for you on the Agent Not Needed website, by the way. So reducing costs by removing the real estate from the process in general. I think we all know how that works. But then they bring up an interesting point of not having to rely on third parties for conducting viewings, etc. Direct communication between buyers and sellers, tenants and landlords can communicate directly online, making the process much quicker, hopefully. Process tracking on the blockchain, providing a process tracker so all parties know exactly where in the process they are. This reduces the stress of the process and saves having to chase multiple parties up for an update. Now, I like that a lot because real estates are meant to be a time arbitrage. Now, in my real world business, my fiat business, I deal with real estates on a weekly basis, and I lose more time dealing with the real estate itself than what I would just connecting directly to the individual on the property. It's nightmarish most of the time. So I'm really keen to disrupt that industry just from a personal standpoint. Of course, reducing transaction time because blockchain. Reducing errors and risks, that's interesting. By using tech and software, the risk of human error is removed, of course. And reducing deal failure, which is an interesting claim. When a deal is agreed, the property deeds and the money from the buyer will be locked in an escrow account. This means that neither buyer or seller can pull out of the deal, which eliminates the chance of it falling through. So from a buyer's perspective, in a saturated market in any major city in Australia, that makes sense. It really does stop somebody from coming along offering $10,000 more and snapping the deal away from you, which is absolutely fantastic. But we're talking about decentralized property here, and some of you might be thinking that this sounds a little bit like these guys, Propy. Now, I was really into Propy, very much so, and their ICO was fantastic, early August, if I remember correctly. Their existing app is delightful. Through ICO process, delays with ICO process, no communication from the team. Now that the Propy project is funded, you don't hear from them. There's not really much going on there, which I'm sure they're working behind the scenes, etc. However, to me, you want to disrupt a dissatisfactory industry. From a client standpoint, from an investor's standpoint, do better. Do better than the industry you're disrupting. And from a service point, at least during ICO, Propy really didn't do that well. There's semi-regular Twitter updates, and that's really about it. So I think they need some competition, and at least in the UK for now, Agent Not Needed could be that competition. But of course, Agent Not Needed aren't just doing buying and selling. It was also mentioned that they are taking care of renting. So we have covered Rentberry here on the channel in the past. Here's the roadblock for Rentberry. Have a look at all of these city names here. Rentberry is operating primarily in the US. So any of you that are currently dialed into crypto current affairs, especially news regarding the SEC, there is a massive crackdown, potential freezing of any tokenized assets for the next 12 months. So that's going to put a real dampener on Rentberry's operations and expansion through the US. So again, having agent not needed based in the UK, it still paves the way for that rental aspect of blockchain related real estate to continue to expand and develop. So hopefully by the time 12 months passes, we'll have two quite well regarded ICO based real estate companies, or in this case rental companies, that are taking care of opposite sides of the world essentially. I want to see these guys start small in the UK and expand once they have a solid use case. But talking about existing product, they do have a delightful demo platform, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's nice and transparent with everything being really relatively accessible. Well, let's just go for a property search. And yes, it's demo mode, but you can see how things might be listed. And there you go. So it's nice and accessible. It's nice and cruisy. It's like any existing real estate platform you might use on an open web browser, but with all of those added benefits of blockchain security and privacy. Tasty rating on ICO Bench, 4.4. Let's have a quick look at the team. So the team themselves consists of a couple of interesting individuals. So co-founder and CEO is actually an e-commerce expert, 16 years experience. So he probably knows a little bit about online marketing, which will benefit the platform quite well. So the CCO, a digital content creator specialist in viral videos, creating a big scene TV online entertainment network and produce audio and video for games, TV and radio. It's good to see the advisory board, Chris Jones, CEO at Hive Property Group, so advising them directly on the ins and outs of the property game. But you can go have a look at them yourself for your own due diligence. So the main reason for me for covering this particular project is, like any industry, we need competitors to drive innovation and to keep the customer experience fair and equitable. So while Propy was fantastic and innovative and drove the way, everything that's come after Propy has been very agent-centric, has been very dangerously close to the current real estate paradigm, only breaking borders. So with agent not needed coming along, I feel like this is the second coming of the type of platform we need. So come 2 or 3 more of these guys in specific parts of the world as they find success in their country and start expanding their operation and the borders of their operation. And as you know, that is when the market really starts innovating and developing to the customer's needs, to the client's needs. I think that these guys, as they stand, have the second mover advantage as well. So with Propy and Rentberry being the first movers in their respective areas of blockchain real estate, they had to figure out a lot of uncharted territory. Success leaves breadcrumbs. So agent not needed can follow in their stead and do a few things better, especially with investor engagement in the early days. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes. 2 days and 13 hours left, guys. Go give agent not needed a little bit of love in the Telegram, links in the description and all that stuff. I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I will see you in the next video.